And so, like I mentioned earlier, because I had to come home early, and I was dealing with a lot of things that I had dealt with, that I'd had. This was a big burden for me. This was stuff that I'd had from a long time, and my biggest struggle with getting rid of it, with I guess repenting, was my fear of reciprocation, of losing my standing in the church, of all these, having this giant black mark across my record. And there came a time, I think it was Alma, Alma the Younger, and his exquisite joy, exquisite pain, when he recognized what conversion was. That was what I wanted. And when I got to that point, it took a little while, actually. I got to that point, and I was in a province that I shouldn't be in anymore. I was dealing with, I had gotten too intimate with people. I had gotten too involved in some wrong practices, and I could have kept it hidden. I seriously could have just finished my mission and no one would have ever known what I went through and what I'd done, and I would have had to deal with that. But I knew at that point that if I kept that, I was crossing a line. It was like I either keep going and I lose everything, or I take this leap and do as the Lord wants me to do. It was almost like my angel moment. And it took me a few days. I remember one day my companion was sick, and I was so distraught, I cleaned the house for like 6 hours. I mean, that even in itself, I guess, could be an object lesson. I mean, cleaning the house was me overcoming this in my own mind. And so, I had that conversation with my mission president on the phone. He transferred me. I left the next day, and I got the best month of my life because of this experience. I got to spend 1 extra month in Madagascar feeling as free as I'd ever been. And that feeling is wonderful. If you're going to go to the mission field, and if you know you can get that feeling, go for it. Don't be afraid to fix it. And because of that month, that was what, changed my life. I saw myself progress exponentially in that month. I came to a point at the end of the month where we had our last interview, and I turned to him and I said, I didn't know what was happening at this point. And I said to him, I'm okay. I'll deal with what comes. If I need to go home, if I need to stay, you tell me what you need me to do. And this was when he broke the news that I had to go home right after I said that. And it was just like, well, I am ready to go, I guess. And the first thing that came to my mind when I found out I was going home was my area. And I still think about that now, and how much that means to me, that I was so focused on the people. And the Lord knew it was time for me to go, though. And I came home at a time that was very necessary for my family, for me. And so you just, like I mentioned earlier, just get busy when you get home. It's going to be hard. You're going to have to deal with some stuff. But recognize the Lord's there, and He doesn't expect perfection. He just expects progression every day. Get busy. Stay busy. Like I said, with coming home early, I went through a lot of the same things that we hear about. I had one person in my home ward, the first time I was back, say, why are you here? And that's hard. And so even just coming back for regular people, I know the challenge. The culture shock from coming home is 10 times worse than going. And just recognizing that you can be a missionary here. Within 2 weeks of me being home, I was teaching a guy about the Book of Mormon at work. These things are real. It's not like you lost it. It's not like it's over when you get home. My patriarchal blessing talks about being a missionary, and how it says something along the lines of how the Lord wants me to be a full-time missionary. And I had a struggle with that, because I didn't get to serve a full-time mission. And then it was like, this life is our mission. And so, just recognizing that the 2 years are your tithing almost. At this point in our lives, it's our 10%. So just give it and serve. Pretty much everything that you need we already have. We have the Book of Mormon, which has so many object lessons. We have the strength of youth. We have the preach my gospel. We have patriarchal blessings. Just do what these things say. I wish I had had the courage, the faith to do that then. Now I'm even still working through some of those things, but the Lord's given us what we need. It's just our job to use it.